Hello again. My name's Gabe Zalna. You know, we really shouldn't be surprised at all the way the chosen one with the floppy ears is acting as it pertains to Muslims. No different than when he told us that he's going to transform America. He kept his word. He has transformed America. Now, when he was writing books, or when Bill Ayers was writing books and he was providing some insight as to what should be in those books, one of the things that he made very clear, well, there's a number of things that he made very clear. He said that on page 261 in the paperback edition of Odyssey of Hope, he wrote, quote, "I will stand with the Muslims should the political wind shift in an ugly direction." Well, they have shifted in an ugly direction, and he has stood with the Muslims. That's why he didn't go to Paris, France, when you had those horrific killings of innocent people take place. That's why he hasn't uttered a word about the Copenhagen shooting. He's doing exactly what he said he'd do. That's why he came out in defense of the Major Nadal Hassan at Fort Hood, and he deemed it to be workplace violence. It wasn't an Islamic extremist terrorist attack, irrespective of the fact that the Major's business card read, "Warrior of Allah." That's why the Oklahoma beheading, again, he ran to the defense of the Muslims. He called it workplace violence. The other thing people need to remember is when he also wrote, in Dreams of My Father, "I ceased to advertise my mother's race at the age of 12 or 13. When I began to suspect by doing so I was ingratiating myself to whites." You know, if you've viewed me for a while, I've said it more than once. And I've told him, "Hey Barry, it's not my fault you're black, or half black." I said the same thing about the less than Honorable Attorney General Eric H. Holder Jr. Once again, it's not my fault you're black. You don't think they have a whole lot of hatred for the whiteys? I do. Anytime and every time they can run to the defense of a black, they will. There's never a time that they haven't run to the defense. The administration has always supported blacks. Look at Michael Brown. Look at the expense the Department of Justice went through sending 40 FBI agents to Ferguson to try to find anything that they could pin on Officer Darren Wilson that would indicate that he had a racist streak in him. Look at the time Obama ran to the defense of that professor in Chicago, and he ended up having to have a beer summit because he called the police stupid. Look at what they did when they lied to us in the Rose Garden about what they said caused Benghazi. We've had all these very clear, more than signs, flashing signs, yet nothing's ever come of any of it. Once again, in his own book, he wrote, "I will stand with the Muslims should the political wind shift in an ugly direction." They have shifted. And he has and he is standing with the Muslims. In Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood were deemed a criminal organization. In the United States, Obama not only supports the Muslim Brotherhood, he's placed many of their high-ranking members into key cabinet positions by infiltrating pretty much every aspect of our government. Valerie Jarrett is Iranian. Might that explain why Obama's meeting with Iran in secret? Congress doesn't even have a clue as to what he's negotiating with the Iranians. They don't have a clue. How nuts is all of this, folks? But once again, none of it should come as a surprise. None of it should be seen as anything other than what it is. Everything that Obama has done and continues to do is to destroy the American way of life. He hates America. He's enslaved the American people. And I believe he derives incredible satisfaction having done so. I bet when he and Michael are on Air Force One in their love nest, they're looking out the window and they're laughing at the stupid white American people. Look at what they've allowed us to do to them. And you know what? He has all the reason in the world to laugh because he's right. We have allowed him to do what he's done to us. We're all sitting back, waiting for the next guy to make something happen. There is no next guy. If you won't do it, no one will. Think about that one. As you lay your head down, as you kiss your children goodnight, as you kiss your wife goodnight. Think about what kind of future they're going to have. None. Absolutely none. That's what I think. So what do you think? You think he lied to us? He didn't lie to us. He told us the truth. We didn't want to either see it or believe it. And now we're all paying the price of our ignorance. You think not? You better think again.